Hey, you party pool people or pool party people. We just set up our pool yesterday. It took about an hour and a half to 2 hours with my wife and I just wanted to show you what we did. Firstly, we used sand. We used 2 yards of sand, and this is an 18 foot by 44 or 48-inch pool. So 18 feet in diameter, and then or 18 foot across. Yeah, 18 foot across and then 48 inches high. So we used sand to put on the bottom so it kind of gave it a soft push. And it was a little difficult to level it out. I have a little bit of a grade, so we just measured from one side and then ran a string to the other side and put a string level in the middle, so that way when if it wasn't level, then we would readjust the sand, and that's how we did it. There's a guy that I'll see if I can find his post again, how he leveled his sand for his pool. But this was relatively easy. We just picked up the whole pool, put it in the middle of the sand, and then unfolded it and started making our adjustments from there. And it says to leave it in the sun for 2 hours, so that way it'll warm it up and it'll be easier to run out all the creases or whatever in the pool. We didn't do that. We live in Texas and it was about 80 degrees and we didn't have much problem with that at that point. And so before we put water in the pool, we also checked it with the string level from side to side to make sure that it was level. And it was off just a little bit, about 1/8 of an inch or less, 1/4 inch perhaps. I mean 1/16 of an inch. So we will see. We're going to check it here in a few minutes to see how level it is in a moment. So what it asks you to do is you get these posts, and they have to attach them to these little stubs down there. I did notice some people had rocks, not rocks, but bricks to set them on because it had sank. I think with the sand we're okay, because as you're trying to compact sand, it doesn't really sink. It gets to a certain point and then it's done. But we'll see. Right now the water level's about right here. This takes 6,600 gallons of water, and it was about right here last night. Yeah, it was probably about here last night. We started at 11:30 to filling it, and so it made it to there, and then this morning we started again, and we'll fill the rest of the way. So then you've got these metal pieces right here that slide in these sleeves. They're kind of a pain, but once you get it down, it's relatively quickly. Then you put on these little 45s, attach them in there, and then they have these little pins that you can pop out, but I don't think I can now that all the weight's on it. And then you just slide this up in between here and connect it, and you're good to go. One thing I noticed in another video was the lady had a saltwater pool, and with the water splashing up against the edge, it rusted out all this in here from the salt water. So you can make an above ground pool in a saltwater pool, but you can't, but you run the risk of the salt water rusting that out. And that comes with, this pool comes with a ladder and a filter. We're going to put all that together and show you, except for the ladder. There's no tools. Well, there's tools needed on the ladder for the little bolts that you got to connect on the top. Oh, and here's an example of how much it costs to fill. I use 6,000 gallons of water a month in my house, so it's only $70. So I know next month I'm going to pay around $140. So it's not really that much more expensive. So the way I measure, I check mine is, here's where the ground starts to slope, and it slopes this way. So we do everything from over here. So I'm gonna put it at the bottom and mark it with my finger right there, and then I'm going to come over to this side. And see, so I'm about a half inch off, and it's in leveling it. So I don't think that's too bad considering we just used a rake to scoop it out. But anyways, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Oh, one thing we didn't do was the way they wanted us to. They wanted us to put all these top bars in, and then come back and connect them and install these. And that was just too much bending over for me. You can tell I don't have much room to bend over. But so what we did was we just put this 45 on and then attached this bar to it, and then just did this, and we just had my helper there. He held it in one spot, and then we just ran around the rest of the pool, and it stayed up as long as somebody held it in one spot. So it takes 2 people perhaps, unless you can, stake it down. But anyways, it's not that difficult to put together. Oh, and then we had about 2 inches of water in the bottom, and I started moving my feet, kind of shuffling them over to get rid of all the wrinkles. It's a little more difficult with sand because the sand's, it's easier with sand than it is with dirt because the sand smooths, but it's still kind of a pain in the neck nonetheless. But I think once we start playing in it and pushing on the bottom with the sand, it'll start straightening itself out, or the wrinkles will just get worse. But we'll see. Anyhow, hope you liked the video. Give us a thumbs up. Ask any questions you like, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
And subscribe!
And subscribe to help our channel grow. But anyways, thank you and have a good day.